Hello, welcome to the Fargo South High 2020 graduation ceremony. My name is Chloe Bry and I am honored to get this celebration started. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand, remove your hats for the presentation of the colors by the Fargo Public Schools Air Force Junior ROTC under the direction of Colonel Stephen Muse and Chief Master Sergeant James Gibson. The color bar team is commanded by Cadet Brandy Shaft, Cadet Kaylee Hopp, Cadet Parker Liedall, and Cadet Samantha Hosselton. The national anthem is being performed by Senior Bob members AJ Anderson, Grant Gillette, Micaiah Owens, Jillian Smith, Janie Hudson, and Christian Abraham. Would you please remain standing until the colors have left the field?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, and you may be seated. Thank you for joining us on this very special day to celebrate. My name is Chloe Bry, and I am the daughter of Jeff and Tricia Bry. In my time at Fargo South High, I have been involved in cross country, hockey, softball, choir, orchestra, fellowship of the Christian athletes, philanthropy and youth, Fargo Youth Initiative, Student Council, and NHS. My plans for next year are to attend MSUM, to major in elementary education, and minor in Spanish and coaching. So should I say, ¿Cómo estás? First and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Rupak Gandhi and Dr. Birch and all of their staff for making this day possible for us. They have shown us how to be great leaders by being flexible and open to constructive criticism, even when they didn't know what was to come or if the celebration would happen. They continued to communicate with us and had to make some tough decisions. For that, I thank you. Next, I would like to thank all of the classmates and adults that have made a difference in our lives and helped shape us into the people we are today. I would like to take a trip down memory lane for a second, starting way back at elementary school. One of my first memories of elementary school is the office ladies at Lincoln Elementary. I was lucky enough to meet Donna Anderson. I remember she had the coolest hair. I also remember she greeted everyone by name and always made everyone feel so special, as if she was genuinely happy to see us every day. I will take that feeling with me always. In fact, I like the office so much, I'd always find ways to visit. I love to visit the nurse. I don't know, there's just something about getting my temperature checked. While I was in, maybe I get a Band-Aid, or maybe even an ice pack. But all good things must come to an end. At dinner one evening, my parents informed me that they had been receiving some calls that I was a frequent flyer in the office. And moving forward, I needed to either be bleeding or have a bone sticking out to be in the office. And apparently paper cuts don't count. I was lucky enough to end my elementary experience by being a 5th grader in Mrs. Durbin's classroom. She taught me that it was okay to be me and not to compare myself to others. Like the time that I felt bad when Dalton Booth here had mastered all of the Harry Potter books and I was still reading Junie B. Jones and Nancy Drew. They're good books. Anyways, Mrs. Durbin told me to focus on Chloe Bry and I would do just fine in life. Then, middle school. I remember being worried about what team I was on, how I would find my locker, and remember my locker combination. One sec, sorry. But soon enough, I mastered middle school, and not only remembered my lunch ID, I could enter it with my eyes closed. I took advantage of every single extra that school had to offer. I got chips, cookies, ice cream sandwiches, extra drinks. It was amazing. Then, one evening at dinner, my parents told me that I needed to gain some self-control or they would be putting a limit on my lunch account. And some of us learned the hard way. At CVE Middle School, I was introduced to new friends, new interests, and new clubs and new sports. Fun fact, do you know I even tried swimming for a while? I'm obviously not an accomplished swimmer today, but my point is that middle school offered many opportunities, and I am grateful for all the experiences and the people I met along the way. Finally, on to high school. All grown up, cool, independent, mature, not. My first day of freshman year, my parents made me stand by the tree and have my picture taken, and then my dad walked me down to the bus stop and made me turn and pose with the bus driver so that he could take our picture. Yep, give him a round of applause for that. That was good. And there were actual high school kids on that bus. But I survived, and I survived being a bus kid too. These high school years have really zoomed by, if you know what I mean. And we are here today graduating. This is a day to celebrate. We are here to celebrate our failures and our accomplishments and everything in between. We are here to celebrate the class of 2020. When I found out we were having this ceremony and it would be streamed via YouTube, I felt excited that those people that loved us and supported us throughout the years would be able to watch us receive our diplomas. If we take a moment to look around, we literally have classmates from all over the world. And I think that's something that makes our class and our school pretty special. How cool is it to know that we literally have people from all the world watching us receive our diplomas today? I invite you to get comfortable, but not too comfortable. Be sure that you are within the spacing guidelines, secure your masks, and get ready to celebrate our classmates as we receive our diploma, and as well hear some wise words from Dalton. Dalton Booth is the son of David and Jill Booth. He plans to attend NDSU to study pharmacy. Dalton has been involved in golf, band, philanthropy and youth, Knowledge Bowl, and other activities during his time at Fargo South High.
Thank you, Chloe. Congratulations to the Fargo South High School graduating class of 2020. Through the academic trials of late-night homework, dozens of tests, and hours of studying, we have finally made it through the finish line, and we finished strong. Before we begin celebrating, we must first recognize all who assisted us through our years in elementary school during our time at CBE and during the great years at Fargo South. Our parents, teachers, counselors, principals, and other staff members have all played a major part in our steps toward our goal of graduation. What you did for us made our education successful, and we thank you. As the class of 2020, we have known each other for a large part of our lives. We have taken on challenges together and have supported each other along the way. We have strived for and have achieved excellence together. Before we look ahead to the future, we must reflect a little on the past and our current state for some encouragement. The date is the 11th of September, 2001, a date that haunts every American since its tragic occurrence. As the class of 2020, we don't remember the events of the September 11th attacks. However, our parents remember where and when they heard the tragic news. They can share with us the emotions they must have felt. The class of 2020 was raised in the aftermath of the events of 9/11, but we have not let that day define us or slow us down. Now to our current position with the COVID-19 pandemic, an event that we will remember for the rest of our lives. It's a very unique time right now. Our in-person school year abruptly came to an end. Taking care of schoolwork at home isn't always easy. It's not just business as usual. We are living through an event that will not only affect our own nation, but the entire world. We will have to live with the result for years to come. Some of us will be choosing career paths that are linked to COVID-19, and others will choose careers that are somewhat linked to the times of normalcy before the outbreak of the virus. We are lucky to be living in the technological times that we are. Technology is being used as its best to shorten the distance between us, keeping us connected. It's not always perfect. Sometimes it's hard to find the motivation to attend those 8:30 Zoom meetings, especially when the internet is acting up. And we don't always want to take the time to look presentable before we press that start video button. There are always limitations to technology. Nothing beats face-to-face human interaction. We are tremendously impacted by the rules that ensure our safety, but someday it will be over and we can move on, taking the lessons we have learned with us. It currently separates and isolates us, but in a way, it will always bond us. We were the seniors at Fargo South during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our grandparents and great-grandparents lived through the Depression and World War II. Their lives were disrupted during those difficult times, but they pulled together and became what is now called the greatest generation. Similarly, our own lives have been suspended during these last few months, but we have the opportunity to do great things in the future. In some way or another, we will be defined as the generation that endured COVID-19. Not everyone is directly impacted by the virus, but everyone is affected in some way. We can all learn from the situation to make good choices in the future to become the next greatest generation. The last few months have given us a great deal of time to practice our skills at home. Now that summer is here, we are able to practice social distancing while also being outside. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. We will get through this. Thank you again to all Fargo South staff members that have supported us along the way of our education, especially during these last few months. Thank you to the class of 2020 for making these years at South High memorable. Let's not dwell on the time spent during our senior year apart. Instead, let us remember the many years spent building lasting memories together. God bless you all. Be strong, be safe. Thank you. Next speaking, we have AJ Anderson. AJ is the son of Jody and Jim Anderson. AJ was involved in football, band, choir, NHS during his time at South, and held the office as Student Council President this year. He will be attending the University of Mary next year to play football and pursue a degree in education.
I was hoping for a little less wind today. We're going to get through this. Well, Fargo South Class of 2020, we made it. I didn't think some of us were going to get here during online classes, but hey, we got through it. I couldn't be more proud of what this class has accomplished. In athletics, multiple teams and individuals qualified for state tournaments and competitions, along with the boys tennis team bringing Fargo South home another state title. In academics, we survived through online AP testing and distance learning. Along with that, 98% of honors students qualified for Presidential Education Awards. Fargo South students also went above and beyond with service to the community this year. Numerous clubs and activities spent countless hours volunteering to help those in need. But not only did our hours make an impact in our community, but we raised over $1,200 to the Alzheimer's Association for Alzheimer's research this year. Class of 2020, yes, good. Class of 2020, when I look out at this group of students, I see an overwhelming amount of potential. I see athletes that will break Olympic records, doctors and scientists that will find the cure for cancer, politicians that will make our country greater, military personnel that will keep our freedoms, first responders and healthcare workers that will step up and be brave in the line of duty, and educators that will shape our future generations like the teachers and educators at Fargo South High School. Fargo South Class of 2020, we are the perfect vision for the future. We are a united force to make the world a better place. 16 years ago, we all took our first steps in this new crazy world. It was rough and we took our falls, but we learned from our mistakes and held our parents' hands. 5 years later, we took our first journey away from home, elementary school. One of my favorite memories from elementary school was getting to raise chickens and ducks in class in 3rd grade and how much fun we had bonding. It went great and we made it through our elementary years with a few minor bumps and bruises during recess and moved on to bigger and better things. Middle school came and went and we held our parents' and teachers' hands and got through it with maybe a little bit more pain and embarrassment than we had hoped. But we still got through it. High school came along, it got real for a lot of people. The adjustment to high school is hard for most. By high school, our teachers' grips had started to slip and weren't so tight anymore. But we still had our families to help us out. We got through it, or at least I hope you did. Not really sure why you'd be here if you didn't. But things look a little bit scarier now. Our parents' hands are starting to slip now, and we've come to the edge of the cliff. As we turn around, we see all the memories and peoples that have made us who we are today. The jump may look scary, but what else is there to do? We can look back and forth across this stadium and see each other on the edge too. It is time. Today, we take one final look back on our childhood and have to say goodbye. However, we are not alone. Although our teachers and families that have led us here so far won't be taking this leap with us, we have each other, Fargo South Class of 2020, to take the leap of faith into the unknown. We have done it before, and it was scary back then. But look back one more time and see that all you have accomplished, every friend you made, every memory you will take with you today, they will always be with you. And though we may not be always physically together, know that if you ever need anything, to reach out a hand, and a fellow Bruin will be there to pick you up. So fellow Bruins, it's time to jump. I hope you'll come with me. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Todd Birch.
Good afternoon and welcome. Before I share a few words, I reflect on the great times that you students have had in this stadium for multiple events over the past 4 years. It just doesn't seem right that we wouldn't start out with a little participation. Are you ready? Let me hear your Bruin spirit. Let me hear your Bruin spirit. Show me your Bruin spirit. Be a Bruin. Be a Bruin. Okay. Okay. That was supposed to go better than I thought in terms of more participation here. Oh, well, as principal, sometimes you have to put yourself out there and see where it goes. As I look upon the crowd that we have assembled today, I see a lot of masked folks, and I am proud to say that these masked folks are Bruin heroes. Thank you for being a hero to the members of the 2020 graduating class. In 1967, South High opened the doors for the first time. Today, we are celebrating the 52nd class that has graduated from South. I can say with confidence that there are many firsts for this class, graduating in this stadium being one of them. I'm very proud of you as individuals and as a class. You have mastered the art of Zoom and helped define the words and actions behind synchronous and asynchronous lessons. You completed your education with distance learning and became experts at Google Classroom and EduCal. The list goes on, but we can say that our final 9 weeks of school was something that no one predicted to start the school year. Rather, to start the school year, the admin team challenged the seniors to be leaders and role models for the students at South High, and I'm proud to report that the members of this class answered that call. Speaking of thanks, I express my thanks and gratitude to the parents, guardians, and family members for the encouragement and support provided to the graduates throughout their years of education and activity involvement. It has been our privilege to assist in the social and educational development of your sons and daughters. As you've heard, another group of people that deserve recognition and many thank yous are all the teachers. That includes former elementary and middle school teachers, and most importantly, the teachers and staff of Fargo South. At this time, would you join me in recognizing our Bruin teachers and staff? Also, it is my pleasure to say thank you to Mr. Vic Youngs, who is retiring this year. Mr. Youngs has spent 34 years with Fargo Schools and 14 of those as a Bruin. While as a Bruin, Mr. Youngs was the head tennis coach and also the student council advisor for many years. Mr. Youngs, I know you're over there. Would you please stand up and be recognized? And I do believe you heard reference to the state championship tennis team that was led by Mr. Youngs. Graduates, Disarelli once stated, "There is no education like adversity." Every adult and many students here today can attest that adversity has been one of the toughest teachers they have ever had. The Louisiana Teacher of the Year, Chris Deere, wrote an article entitled "An Open Letter to High School Seniors." When he was a senior in high school, his life was disrupted by Hurricane Katrina. He also remembers leaving his school on a Friday, only never to return to school for the rest of the year. He lost sports seasons, prom, and had to stay in a shelter in a different state to finish high school. He states, and I agree, there is nothing anyone can say to make up for that time you are losing in what is supposed to be one of the best years of your life. However, Mr. Deere goes on to say that graduates, you have the power to make the most of this unfortunate situation. You can navigate between physical and digital world with ease and perfection. You are part of the most racially and ethnically diverse generations, and you embrace those differences in ways that adults seem to struggle. There is no pandemic strong enough to silence your generation. The South High counseling team said it best: COVID-19 can't ruin a Bruin. Mr. Deere, your parents, your teachers, and I am eager to see what you will do with the lessons you have learned, your resilience, and your passion to positively impact the future. I close with a couple of lessons that we have all learned from that great teacher and philosopher, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump often quotes his mama. She is known to tell Forrest that life is like a box of chocolates, is right. You never know what you're going to get. Metaphorically, your box of chocolates is filled with experiences that you are yet to discover. Just like Forrest, I encourage you to embrace, accept, and appreciate them all. Your experiences and what you learn from them will continue to define who you are as a person. Lieutenant Dan taught us more about loss and how to overcome and accept what we don't have. Do you remember when Forrest states that Lieutenant Dan made peace with his situation? Perhaps losing 9 weeks of school and prom isn't the same as losing your lower extremities, but at some time we all need to accept, make peace, and be ready to learn how our box of chocolates will make us a better and stronger person. Lou Holtz said, "Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it." It has been the pleasure of the faculty and staff of South High to prepare, encourage, inspire, and motivate you to personal success. Graduates, maximize your ability, motivation, and attitude to be the best version of yourself as you strive for excellence and do so with Bruin class. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to present our class of 2020 at Fargo South High School. In the program, it does say that Missy Eidness, an associate superintendent, would be joining us today. However, she was unable to be here, so I will also fulfill her role. At this time, I certify that the students in the Fargo South High class of 2020 that are about to receive their diplomas have met all the requirements that have been established by the Fargo Board of Education and the North Dakota Department of Public Instruction. Most of you graduates already have your diplomas out of your sleeve, which is good. If you haven't already put your diploma sleeves under a corner of your chair, I would encourage you to do that. At this time, I would ask our first row to make their way to the stage. Graduates, as you are going to get your picture taken, you may take your mask off for that photo. As students are making their way to the stage, I would ask for a little participation also from the stands. If you are a graduate of South High School, would you please stand? If you're a graduate, please stay standing. If you're a graduate of the Fargo Public Schools, would you please stand? And if you are here today to celebrate the accomplishments of one of the members of the class of 2020, would you please stand? Awesome. Thank you very much once again for being here. It is also my pleasure to share that each student has received a special gift from the Fargo South PTSA. We thank the PTSA for their generosity and support of Fargo South students and programs. The gentleman who is in front of me right now is from Sherling Photography. And this year, because of the unique situation, Sherling Photography will be providing a link which will be emailed out to all students. And that link will allow you to download the graduation photo, at which time you can put on social media, print copies, whatever you feel is your choice. However, yes, you go ahead and say that. That's a gift from Fargo Public Schools. I would ask that during the recognition of the class of 2020 that everybody does remain in their seats and do not come to the railing for pictures. So if you've done that, if you would please return to your seats, that would be awesome. Courtney, are you prepared?
Today we will be recognizing all graduating seniors who are here with us in person or celebrating virtually. Virtual participant names will be read in alphabetical order along with those in attendance. Masaget Abakar. Salah Abdi. Abdirahman Abdikadir. Ahmed Abdul Karim. Christian Abraham. Tila Acharya. Ayub Ahmed. Dylan Alexander. Caitlin Alexander. Ruwaida Ali. Jackson Allard. Carlos Amiscua Vargara. Emmanuel Ampansa. Tyler Anderson. Alan Anderson. Nicholas Antonopoulos. Molly Babcock. Anthony Bachmeyer. Derek Badu. Erlene Bergiolo. Giovanni Bassi. Julia Barath. Matthew Bennett. Manaj Bhattarai. Anish Bujel. Heather Bifford. Simone Blue. Brianna Bow. Mackenzie Bow. Dalton Booth. London Brotherson. Emily Brewer. Chloe Bry. Jacob Bryant. Caleb Carlisle. Sasha Coyer. Mariah Castillo Fonseca. Caitlin Christensen. Samuel Cole. Danielle Krebs. Kalpana Dahal. Benjamin Dawson. Isaac DeMars. Braven Desjarlais. Michaela Doctor. Marin Donovan. Miriam Duncan. Irakunda Edmond. Abby Ellingson. Annika Ellis. Andrew Erickson. Annika Erickson. Cole Erickson. Hannah Everett. John Farr. Dawson Fett. Riley Fike. Elizabeth Fisher. Bless Flomo. Meiah Fosse. Selah Fredericks. Janae Blase. Poonam Ghalley. Laxmi Gissing. Grant Gillette. Marcus Guzdahl. Kiara Grossnickel. Justice Grovum. Nobin Gurung. Sagar Gurung. Srijana Gurung. Susmita Gurung. Anis Hajamati. Ethan Hansen. Hadaya Hassan. Heshu Hawari. Alyssa Henning. Colby Hernandez. Emma Hetland. Ryan Hoyland. Vincent Holmlund. Preston Howard. Jane Hudson. Trace Ingberg. Janti Irakosi. Maisie Jablin. Erica Jensen. Jager Jensen. Alexandra Johnson. Elvin Johnson. Derek Johnson. Micaiah Johnson. Raymond Johnson. Skylar Johnson. Michael Jonason. Edwin Horace. Jacob Kaiser. Christy Kirch. Zachary Kostka. Azra Kovacevic. Kayla Kuehl. Kafo Danny Lahai. Leah Lalonde. Matthew Landberg. Tu Lee. Robert Leslie. Amaria Levesque. Carlos Leas Valencia. Carson Lytle. Destiny Lindgren. Haakon Livingood. Garfield Logan. Ashley Mackner. Ramesh Mangar. Mary May. Alyssa McAllister. Abigail McAndrew. Reese McCullough. Jamison McNeil. Dylan Miller. Weston Mitchell. Abdi Mohammed. Nijesh Mangar. Priya Mangar. Bryce Morgan. Jocelyn Mueller. Marlis Mueller. Zoe Mueller. Zachariah Muhuddin Abduli. Luis Munoz. Avery Myers. Jace Netterville. Thu Nguyen. Thu Nguyen. Tiffany Neeland. Anchi Nitschke Durbin. Ashlyn Nystrom. Claire Olson. Maxwell Olson. Aurora Ortega. Raechel Osborn. Micaiah Owens. Rami Pastoric. Anthony Pay. Taylon Pepple. Victoria Powell. Veronica Cui. Avishek Rai. Kabita Rai. Nisha Rai. Maria Ralph. Mackenzie Reinke. Paige Reinke. Mackenzie Road. Trinity Ringquet. Jacob Bitchie. Dalton Rudnick. Hunter Sar. Brianna Samples. Alberta Samira. Yasmin Samira. Ashley Sather. Joseph Schumacher. Austin Scott. Maxwell Scott. Parker Seelig. Abrar Sharfi. Victoria Sharp. Pacific Sibomana. Tate Simpson. Draven Skipple. Jillian Smith. Samantha Solom. Jamal Spy. Aidan Sticka. Samso Subatsic. Brooklynn Suhonen. Dalton Silskar. Manita Tamang. Shasit Tamang. Emma Tennyson. Nathan Thiner. Sean Thompson. Tia Thompson. Christy Torgerson. Tong Tran. Miles Alschmidt. Timothy Victor. Marcus Warbitsky. Archie Way. Katie Weirs. Ariel Wilbourn. Peyton Walters. Nathaniel Rage. Jeffrey Youngs. Sylvie Zamsa. Austin Zern.
Would the members of the class of 2020 please stand at this time? Please do an about face and look at the stands. All the way around, 180. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduating class of Fargo South High School 2020. You may now move your tassels from one side to the next. At this time, I welcome Chloe. She said I was supposed to say the best Fargo South student back to the podium. So, Chloe.
I want to again thank everyone that made this celebration happen today. I will always remember this day and will add it to one of my stops down memory lane. I know this isn't an ideal situation and not the way we hoped our senior year would be. I know that many of us had technical difficulties attending class and submitting assignments, and we are missing out on our senior year activities, and we will never get this time back. But I think it has taught us about resilience and compassion and to focus on the good things in life, to find the rainbow after the storm. To see the good in all things as we go in different directions. Oh, that's okay, I was done with it, so it's okay. As we go in different directions and pursue different dreams, I know that we will all be fine and still have great lives. We will have many ups and downs in life, and we will always look back at our senior year and remember we literally dealt with a pandemic in 2020. And that will be an experience that will always bond us as a class. I'm excited to see what the next chapter in life brings and hope for nothing but the best for all of you. I would like to close with a song from my favorite show, The Office. I hope you understand it. It's pretty good. Closing time, open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time, turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time, one last call for study hall, so finish your paper and cheer. Closing time, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know
that I'm
finally done with Zoom. I
know that I'm done with my homeroom.
I know that I'll probably sleep till noon. Done with Zoom. Closing time, time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time, this room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. I know that I'm finally done with Zoom. I know that I'm done with my homeroom. I know that I'll probably sleep till noon. Done with Zoom. Closing time. Stay safe and stay healthy, all our Fargo South Bruin friends. Congratulations, Bruins!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for our school song. Congratulations once again to the class of 2020. At this time, we conclude our ceremony and would ask that once again that you social distance your way to your parking lots, and once you get to your cars, if you would please exit. Students, you will be directed to depart by your staff members. So once again, congratulations and thank you for coming, and best of luck, South High students. My last comment, once a Bruin! All right.